kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice and medical care, please contact your doctor. Brought to you by the Koala Cola Corporation. It tastes just like Down Under. I'm Crappy Koala. Take it away, DJ Dylan.
Welcome to the Jock podcast featuring Dr. London Smith. The podcast that has once been referred to as a complete garbage show by a dude named JP on Instagram. Yes, but they'll get to that part later on in the episode. Introducing your host, Dr. London Smith.
Hello, and welcome to the Jock podcast, where we discuss fitness and health, and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I'd like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We've received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as mucosal inflammation and birdie birdie in the sky, laid a turdy in my eye. So I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Uh-huh. No, I mean, it's a good offer, but my client, Dr. London is a hot commodity. We're going to have double that.
Hey, Cameron?
Hey, you go talk to your people, and I'll deal with my... Okay. I gotta go. Dr. London, I just gotta be honest, we're getting deals left and right. You know that, or I guess I shouldn't say on the podcast, I'm also functioning as your agent.
Yes.
Oh. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I am getting you brand deals, sponsorships, spokesman sponsorships. I am making money, Dr. London. I literally, do you want to know who was just on the phone with me right now?
Okay,
Dr. Fropp's stethoscopes. Do you want to be the face of Dr. Fropp's stethoscopes?
Are those the ones that kept exploding on airplanes?
So, okay, well, the reputation that they've gained over years has been exaggerated because of cancel culture.
Okay, it's one of those things where, with phones having the batteries, that was, that made sense to me. But for stethoscopes, they aren't, typically battery-powered or something. So
these are. Dr. Fropp's are, yeah.
Yeah, no, that became apparent, once again, whenever they exploded on a plane, because they had to evacuate. Well, they had to take the plane down.
Well, they're smart.
It took
Dr.
one
London.
plane down.
They're smart.
What?
They communicate with your phone. They communicate with your laptop. They relay information. We've got smart fridges now, smart, scales, smart TVs.
Yeah, smart.
They're smart stethoscopes. But Dr. London, they're going to double their price just to have you do a 30-second spot. That's pretty amazing.
Well, so here's the thing, though. Because it also, it exploded while it was in use. So
sure,
a number of physicians lost not just their hearing,
but
their
a number,
ears.
Though? Yeah, but what is a number? Like a number, okay, 2, that's a number. What is a number? You know what I mean?
Well, I think it was 43 physicians is the count at this point.
And think of how many physicians there are in the world, right?
More than that, but it's still...
So when it comes to people dying from the COVID vaccine, it's, those are such small, insignificant numbers. But when it comes to doctors' heads exploding because their stethoscopes exploded, suddenly 43 is the biggest number in the world.
Yeah, it's just because there are other stethoscopes that don't do it, I guess, is part of the issue.
I'm not into that world. That's on you.
Yeah.
But
that's becoming apparent.
But Dr. London, I did close a deal this morning, and you're going to love this because I know that you yourself are a user of Frida's fart fertilizer. This is a new form of fertilizing your garden where instead of, using manure like you would usually use, a guy comes over and he farts on all of your plants.
Yeah. Well, okay, yeah. And I have been using it, but I'm still in the trial period. I haven't paid up for it yet.
Yeah, it does come with a 30-day trial if you use Jock as the promo code. But Dr. London, you're a user of it. You're gonna be the face of Frida's fart fertilizer for the next 5 years.
Wow.
So can I
I do. Well, just one thing. Everything in their contract is like an alliteration, so it's like a 5-year contract for Frida's fart fertilizer for $5 million. Like it's that kind of thing. Lot of wordplay.
Yeah, you say that as if that's going to complicate things, but it sounds like it still gets the same point across.
Oh yeah, just
just a waste of ink and paper. Yeah. So like my review of it so far, just I'm 25 days into the trial now.
Sure, right.
I've noticed a lot. There's been a smell outside that wasn't there before.
Okay.
And my plants have been dying.
Well, okay, so let's go back to the smell thing, because this is sort of similar to the number thing. Like you say, oh, it smells. Okay. Okay, my microphone smells. This card.
Sorry. It smells worse to me. Worse? Is that what you want to? Yeah. It's a pungent smell that I also like. I get lightheaded whenever I walk by it.
Well, I mean, that's on you. If you know that walking by it's going to cause you to get lightheaded, then stop doing that. Isn't this the joke, like the doctor saying, well, then stop doing that or whatever?
Yeah. No, I guess that's the joke. Okay, so I'll consider it. Whenever my trial ends, I will consider whether to renew it. I'm not sure if I want to be the face of it, though.
Well, here's the thing, though. We already signed up for a $5 million contract. If you don't become the face, then you owe $40 million. Again, it's the alliteration thing. The numbers don't really make a ton of sense, but
Are you sure that that's because of alliteration, or is it because that's what you negotiated?
Oh, no. I tried to just, even when I was saying like, hey, do you guys like want a glass of water or anything like that? They were like, free? It was only stuff that started with F. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
They were like, oh, are you going to charge me for that? But it's like, why would they even ask that? I think they just said that because that was the first like F word they could think of.
Yeah.
It was an extremely frustrating deal, and that you're not on board is unbelievable to me.
So free was an option to mention instead of $45 million owed to
40.
them.
Yeah.
Or 40, sorry.
Yeah.
They're both large numbers to me.
Yeah. And really, since they're giving you the 5 up top, you're only out 35.
Yeah. Okay, so if it's okay, because I'm not sure that I'm interested in this, but if we could.
Well, can I do a quick plug for them real quick, because that was part of the stipulation.
Yeah, no, if we're contractually obligated.
Frida's Fart Fertilizer, fun farting for friends.
Okay, so that's our producer Cameron. Also with us is Digital in the House.
Yes.
Digital in the House.
The podcast that has once been referred to as a complete
Garbage show by a dude named
JP on Instagram.
But one man's trash is another man's treasure forever. Sorry that you're not a collector of fine things, of gemstones, of diamonds. They cut them from rough stones. What do you think you've stumbled upon? What do you think you found? Where do they find the good stuff? They pull it up out the ground. Everybody's got their issues, nobody's got the time. Better just keep it moving, leave the past behind.
podcast that has once been referred to as a complete
garbage show by a dude named
JP on Instagram.
And later, I'm told that we have a special guest on the way.
That's right, Dr. London.
All right, so look forward to that. Before we move on, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback. This note comes to us from the executive offices of the Koala Cola Corporation. The note reads, quote, "Please refrain from using the term mass extinction events in association with the Koala Cola Corporation's work abroad. Replace the term with weight extinction events," end quote. So that's replace the word mass with weight when talking about extinction events.
Well, and it's probably different. I mean, you've got like the metric system and other systems, imperial.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's a conversion thing.
Yeah. So these are not, people are always complaining like, Koala Cola Corporation is causing these mass extinction events. That's not true. It is a
Right.
weight extinction event.
Yes.
Don't stop. That's libel. That's slander. Whenever you say.
To be honest, this just goes back to sort of what I was saying about like smells and numbers. It's like, what is extinction? Like, dinosaurs are extinct. Is that my fault? Like, did I do that? You know what
That's
I
a
mean?
good
Like,
point. Yeah. Well,
it's like I don't even. Why are people even bringing it up? You know what I mean? I'm busy.
It's irrelevant.
Yeah,
to what
I'm
we're
making
doing.
these deals.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, thank you to the. Oh, sorry.
Well, Dr. Lennon, did we also want to read some of the feedback we received on Instagram this week?
Yeah. No. Sure. I could pull that up.
Sure. I mean, I was just gonna. So
it wasn't actually this week. It was a bit ago, but.
Sure, but it was one of our biggest fans. It's JP Frazier. He's been to every live show. He's gotten all the merch. It's he's probably
Very
the most
touchy.
active. Very touchy. I was
very
about to say he's
touchy
the most
fan.
active fan, sort of like
Grabby.
kind of tiptoeing around what the word active meant. But yes, he is physically moving a lot when you are around him.
Yeah.
And he said. And this is a comment on episode 105. I was so stoked to see a show about Alpha 1, and then there was this trash that literally had zero information and doesn't feature Shaq at all. Completely let down in a complete garbage show. Now, this hurt my feelings, one.
Yes.
Because to hear that from someone who has, like, touched me so much... feels like more violating than the how hard he's grabbing onto my shoulders usually.
Yeah. In that way that, like, it's not a hug or a handshake. It's just a
punishment, really.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I thought that we covered alpha-1 antitryptase deficiency in that episode pretty well. So that's what has me confused about it.
Maybe. And this is my thing, and I think it's been an issue with a lot of people who have listened to the podcast, is that they're not listening to it properly. You're supposed to be listening to this podcast at 2 times speed. I feel like we say that at the top of the episode, right? Don't you put that into the disclaimer?
Did you, Dylan?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
If that's...
So you're 2 times speed minimum. Honestly, 5 times speed would be better. That way you get all of the secret messages that we sort of encode throughout the episode.
If you can drag your finger across, just like whenever, like, hold and just fast forward through with your finger through the episode just to get the play, because we get the money if it's listened through, even like if you drag it across, like if you don't actually listen to it, but if it looks like you listen.
Exactly.
So that's really the best way to listen to the podcast.
And I mean, it's really the only way that you're going to get the proper information. That is something that, I'm sorry, but that we explain this in the show. Yeah. We're not trying to wait. I mean, who would listen to this show for an entire hour? That makes I can't imagine anyone even thinking about doing that.
Well, like you said earlier, who has the time?
Exactly. Everyone's running around. Everyone's touching everyone. And at 5 times speed, you're getting all the same information plus all the secret codes that we put in throughout the episode, and then you walk away from it not only knowing more about medicine, but also being closer to Shaquille O'Neal. He's now our brand sponsor, but yeah.
Which, and I, in my response to that comment, I did say that he hadn't returned our calls. He did return my call today. It wasn't a great call. He was verbally abusive to me, but like,
well, he sounded really far away from the phone too, like really far away. You say verbally abusive, that is an assumption that we've had to make because of how far away from the phone he was.
Well, yeah, it's the emotionally distanced.
The tone, the tone sounded very angry and mad for sure.
Yeah, but he could have been talking to someone else.
It could have been another person who sounded just like it. I don't know. It was so far away.
No, my caller ID is so messed up these days too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you to the executive offices for reaching out to us about weight extinction events. Thank you to this our favorite listener, honestly, this fan that commented on that Instagram
JP.
post. Yeah, we love you. Can't wait to to be touched again, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, now for today's medical lesson, amebic liver abscess. Amebic liver abscesses are most commonly found in men, particularly in homosexual men. It's transmitted through fecal-oral contact and is caused by intestinal amoebiases such as Entamoeba histolytica, and these amoeba reach the liver via the hepatic portal vein, and that's the vein that goes from the intestine to the liver. Clinical features include fever, right upper quadrant abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, hepatomegaly, which is when your liver's enlarged, and diarrhea. Serologic testing with IgG enzyme immunoassay establishes a diagnosis. Liver function tests are often elevated. Entamoeba histolytica stool antigen test, which it detects protozoa in stool, but it's not very sensitive. So you can use it to look for the disease, but you can't rule out the disease just because that comes back negative.
I do think we should say right now that if you don't have these symptoms, you shouldn't feel left out. That doesn't make you like a lesser person, or it's just sometimes when Dr. London is just giving all of this attention to very specific people, I mean, to be honest, maybe even that's why JP was frustrated, is he felt left out. It's like, well, okay, why aren't you talking about me? Yeah.
No, I guess, you know what, I want to just stop for a second and apologize. So JP, I'm sorry for the way we've been.
Yeah.
We've tried to tailor the podcast more specifically towards you since we got your message, and I think that's been reflected pretty well in the content. But obviously it's been frustrating for you, and I can admit that it's been frustrating for us as we deal with ourselves.
And relationships aren't easy, Dr. London, are they?
No. So anyway, so if you feel left out because you don't have an amebic liver abscess, then that I think it's okay.
It's okay.
I should say, just imaging studies such as ultrasound and CT scan can identify the abscess, but it is difficult to distinguish from a pyogenic abscess, which I believe we talked about last week. Just something to bear in mind. It can be difficult to distinguish. IV metronidazole.
Just because you don't fit in this category, the kids might make fun of you at school. I'm not gonna deny that. Like, I'm not gonna pretend that that's not a possibility. Like, all the kids at the school listen to the Jock Talk podcast and they're like, oh, they weren't even talking about you. I understand. Like, kids are bullies, but you can't let that define you.
I mean, you can, but like I don't know that we are endorsing you allowing that to define you.
I guess if the only thing that's going on in your life is that you're bullied about the Jock Talk podcast not talking about you, then sure, I agree. Then that does define you. If that's the only thing you got going on, unfortunately, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and not, maybe that's a good thing. Okay, let's see. Okay, so IV metronidazole is an effective treatment for amebic liver abscess in most cases. Therapeutic aspiration of the abscess through image-guided percutaneous aspiration may be necessary if the abscess is large in order to prevent rupture, or if there is no response to the medical therapy. You would also, go in and aspirate. But like, if you feel left out just because you don't have the abscess, I don't know, like there are other things, I guess. Like, you don't need a liver abscess. Like, you could pick up skateboarding or something.
And I mean, you might be thinking like, oh, I was born in the wrong generation. Like, oh, I'm Gen Z. I wish I was Gen X because they didn't care so much about, like, does everyone have an abscess? Does everyone have the disease that Dr. London talked about this week? And let me just say, no, you are right where you are meant to be and where you need to be. And your generation needs a voice that stands up and says, I don't have an abscess.
As we bring this medical lesson to a close, normally I don't make a big deal out of it, but I feel like it's a good time to take a moment to say it really is okay.
Yeah.
You can have it, you can not have it. If you have it, then I would say like you should go ahead and seek treatment for it. But if you don't have it, I think it's okay that you don't seek treatment to acquire it. I think that's that's really, it's very okay for you to not have this abscess.
And if the kids throw you in the locker at school, tell them, don't do that.
That's really powerful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and move on from there then. All right, Cameron, you said that we have a guest today. Is that right?
That's right, Dr. London.
All right. Well, hello there. My name is drlondonsmith.com, and this is our producer, Cameron. What was your name?
Chocolate Daddy, but you can call me Burt.
Oh,
okay.
So wait. So Burt is the nickname of Chocolate Daddy?
Chocolate Daddy.
Oh, Chocolate Daddy.
Correct.
Is he saying that right? Because I don't want to mess up, with different cultural whatever.
That's why I picked Burt. Burt is it's a well-known Muppet. It's
okay. Yeah,
it's part of the pair. Everybody understands it.
That whole chocolate. I'm not familiar with the term. Okay, so Burt.
Oh no! It's the French term chocolat.
He's a doctor, so he can't candy words. He's not gonna know because he's like anti-candy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's candy. Yeah, sorry. I wouldn't...
he wouldn't. You're not gonna know.
Actually,
okay.
it was a very underrated film. That's where I got the name from.
Okay. Oh, you got the name from. Okay.
Okay, so Chocolate Daddy is not your real name. You came up with that.
Yeah. You said if I was bullied, then I shouldn't let it define me.
Oh.
Yeah. Agreed. So wait, did you just came up with this name right now? This is just now your name after the medical lesson?
Yeah, that's what I took away from not having ALA.
Wow.
Which for me, ALA stands for the Arab Liberation Army. So I was really surprised to hear it was actually just your liver screwing up.
Yeah, I think it just depends on, the keywords that you use to search with it. So,
sure.
And I'm impressed that you deduced it to just be ALA because I don't think I ever abbreviated it. But yes, Amebic Liver Abscess is often confused with the Arab Liberation Army. And I'm glad to make this distinction now so that we don't run into trouble later. And, because we've run into issues with military recruitment and the intersections with the medical podcast world. So
yeah, which is a pretty big Venn diagram overlap.
It's remarkable. I mean, like, it's almost as big as what were you guys talking about? Right, the conversion of koalas. You don't like them being Catholics anymore?
Okay. Going to mass.
Well, we're not supposed to publicly talk about this. I don't think the religion of koalas.
No, it's once again we said we're going from mass to weight. It's weight is what it is now.
Right, but that's what purgatory is.
Yeah. I know. It's going to wait, the waiting place. I knew this would come up. That we would, of course.
Okay, I mean, okay, look, let's talk about this frankly. DJ Dylan, just cut all of this part out. So here's the thing. Koalas don't go to purgatory, nor do they go to heaven. All koalas go to hell. This is one of those things that
as a policy,
Koala Cola has sort of guaranteed that every single koala that passes away is not going to be stuck anywhere. The point is, going to mass is a waste of time for them. So it's also wasting a lot of time for the koalas that actually work at the Koala Cola factory. There's a lot. They use them sort of as sled dogs and these kind of things, and unfortunately, it affects production if they're going to mass every single morning. Because the ones that were Catholic were like really Catholic. It wasn't just like Sundays or Easter or whatever. It was daily.
I mean, that's why I was bullied, because like I was also Catholic, and my priest happened to be a koala, and my confessions were very intense.
Wow, is that what brought you here to the podcast today? Is your affiliation with the koala world?
That is what I'm wondering, is why you are here.
Oh, well, so you see, Koala Cola was the drink of Glastonbury 2019. You can find it
Sure.
on the Koala Cola UK Twitter. And, because of my fond affinity for, the touch and the taste of koalas that I experienced growing up, I went there and I felt incredibly sick. And, there was no doctor that could heal me. And I came up with this method called cellular healing. And I like really want to like talk about that because I think it can help both koalas and humans alike. And it's such a deep healing thing that I think the medical community has completely missed. Like it can even help you with your alpha linolenic acid or whatever ALA you guys were talking about earlier.
Yeah, the amoebic liver abscess. So we have a treatment for that that's pretty effective, the metronidazole. But so you're saying
yeah, but that's I have a more holistic cellular based treatment. So it's not like your treatment is very invasive. This heals the body from the inside out, as medicine is supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and Dr. London's he always has all these like chemicals and pesticides and all these things in his medicines, and it's like, okay,
right.
Can we get some organic medicine for once?
Exactly. Like Koala Cola is made from organic colas.
Yeah,
and it's absolutely and completely drinkable.
This is a great time to mention.
It's just so
that there are no koala parts in Koala Cola. I just want to, when we get into the ingredients and stuff, I just want to clarify that there's no.
Oh, I mean, we're still off the record, Dr. London. I don't think DJ Dylan has continued recording yet. We're still good, right, Dylan?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we're good. So we can talk. I mean, yeah, there's a ton of koala parts in just everything that they do. Of course there is.
Yeah, like. I mean, if you go to their marketing, there's a koala as their lead spokesman. There's a koala as their receptionist. So many different koala parts are involved with Koala Cola.
Yeah, the koala thresher. Yeah.
Yep. And that is exactly what we were referring to. Is just that there's a lot of moving pieces, let's say, in the Koala Cola Corporation, Koala division. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Well, just. Okay, so I'm sorry.
Okay,
let's go back on the record.
DJ Dylan, can we? Start recording, DJ Dylan. Okay, now what? So you're here to just sort of like pimp out how good Koala Cola is? Is that pretty much it?
I want to teach people about my healing method that I've created at the Cellular Healing Institute, and really help people understand that you don't have to turn to people like Dr. London Smith and take a lot of invasive chemicals when it comes to healing your body. There are more natural ways to do it, and also it's way better if you have membership with the Arab Liberation Army than what he was suggesting earlier.
Okay, so we're gonna lean into that. Okay, I mean,
we're leaning away from you, Dr. London.
Okay.
Well, no, I really like your name. It's oddly a place, and it's like generic in two ways, but your medical advice is not super helpful.
There's just too many like processed chemicals and stuff.
I don't understand why you can't just eat pomegranate husk and the polyphenols there can cure this, as ancient tribes of koalas have been doing for years.
Well, I kind of wanted to get to that. Like I want to hear you say you have this methodology that is extremely helpful, that's better than Dr. London's medicine. I mean, what is it?
It's very simple. Like if you think about how people get sick, they get sick in stages. First, there's a source, then there's the effect that it does, then there's having to the degeneration that comes from it, and then the inflammation and the stress, and then all of the natural, chemicals in the body that go away. So I just created a whole, framework to remove that, and it's very simple. It's what I call the 5 R's. The first R is called removing the source, and this is really where I think most doctors miss. Instead of like using chemicals, you really have to just sit there and understand, what did you put in your body, and what can we repair at a cellular level? Like, is there any mercury in your body? If you guys have any fillings, there's probably mercury in your body because it just oxidizes in the brain, right? And that's really, really terrible because, I don't know if you know much about cells, but they're made of like membranes, and like that's a thing. They act like gatekeepers, and sometimes your gatekeepers get broken. So once you start to remove the source, then you start to regenerate the cells, and from that you can actually you can go ATM. Sorry, I'm talking about ATP, not ATM. That was what I was doing
Right,
before.
yeah.
It's like, I found that usually ATMs help both in terms of getting money and healing from the inside out, but it's actually ATP, which is the fuel source of the cell, as far as I understand.
Yeah.
I don't know. I turned to doctors for this, but they never tell me the truth.
ATM is definitely commonly something that Dr. London recommends to a lot of his patients. We're talking about ass to mouth. Now,
Yes, okay.
So no, I want to ask here. So you're just saying like, what?
Well, I was just going to say, I'm looking through your catalog here that you brought, because you have pamphlets, you have catalogs, and the catalog has, it does seem a little bit like maybe you're peddling more than just the framework for healing. Like here, it's used sailboat. Is that part of the healing process, or because it's 40?
Yeah, absolutely.
It seems in this pamphlet, like you have, sort of your holistic stuff that you're selling, and then on the next page or underneath it, and sometimes with the holistic stuff, like you say, you can only get it in a combo with this lamp that I have. Now, a lot of it seems like you're trying to offload maybe just kind of like some of your garbage, right?
Sorry, I don't have garbage. I have garbage. And if you know anything about the contemporary art world, garbage is very, very important for a person's sense of well-being. They like to stare at it in different mounds and things like that. But back to your original question, I follow what I call the Hubbard method of healing, where as you start to really use the framework, you have to kind of cut yourself off more and more from society, because it's just so evil, and you can only do that if you buy the sailboat and go very deep into the ocean while paying a lot of money to be on the sailboat.
Oh, wow. I thought you were going to say it was going to be like getting rid of your material things and becoming less materialistic. But no, it's buying a boat and then trying to like leap physically away from people.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
There's nothing wrong with materialism. It's just making sure that the materialism goes to the right person. In this case, your materialism is affecting you because you're not using the framework. But by giving that materialism to me, you heal yourself and you also heal me.
Yeah, wow. There's a lot of information about this. So I see it here, you say, you're putting it in these terms of like, materialism isn't bad. So in just all caps, it just says you need this stuff. And it's got, yes, Cameron said the lamp. This one, it looks like, is that just guns, a laser? I'm wondering, I guess I'm just not sure, because these items seem expensive but disconnected. Like there is definitely a motorcycle with a machine gun strapped to it, it looks like. And you're pairing that with a supplement.
It says the more stuff you order from your catalog, the more Burt points you get. But it doesn't specify what I can get with Burt points or anything like that. But it seems to be a huge selling point for a lot of these things.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Burt points is it's sort of your own reward system that you start to. They're very similar to Weight Watchers points. So the more Burt points you can consume, the better you will be. And you have to stay under a certain amount of Burt points at the beginning, because this system's very, very powerful. So as you give up things like refined sugar, you should also buy things to replace it, like that motorcycle. A lot of times, what you really have to deal with is people like Che Guevara and other free radicals like that. And like you really want to reduce the amount of free radicals that you have in your body and your surroundings. So a motorcycle with a machine gun will help you with those free radicals.
I'm always having to deal with Che Guevara. That dude will not leave me alone.
Dude, oh my God, it's so annoying, because like he's got a t-shirt press and he just keeps pumping them out.
I know, and he's made so much off of the t-shirts, and it's like, dude, leave me alone or give me a t-shirt. That's the thing. He won't even give me a t-shirt.
Right? See, if you use my system and the 5 R's of cellular healing, and you started to do R4, which we call reducing inflammation and oxidative stress by, overconsumption of Che Guevara, or taking out bad fats and toxins, or underlying toxicity, like listening to Dr. London Smith every week. All of that can really start to help you heal, Cameron. I just want to see you. I want to see you be the best person and the best. You're already doing so many such great deals that are overlooked here.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely true. People kind of overlook most of the things I do. Part of that is because I'm 5'3", and so people, when I talk, they don't really know where to look because they're sort of just looking over me.
Do you mean 5'3"? Are those two different measurements?
Yeah, no, I'm 5 foot, and then if I stand on my tippy toes, I can add 3 inches to it.
Oh my God! Do you know how many men would love to just add 3 inches on command? Actually, do you know how many women would love to just add 3 inches on command? You have something special there, my friend.
I don't know any women, and I don't really know any women, so I can't answer that question. But I do. So I mean, we're talking about the R's. The first one being remove. So you're saying remove sugar, remove the fillings from your teeth, all of these different things. Is there an actual practical step, or is this more of like a vague, you find the toxins in your own life to remove them, or is it more like I go and see you and you help me remove stuff?
It's more that I have to help you, because when
okay,
you're just starting out, it's hard to use the framework. It's hard to tell what's good for you and what's bad for you. It can be very, very nuanced.
I mean, do we want to do this right now? Like, instead of an example, do you want to just use me as like your sort of test patient?
I have never wanted to use a person more than I wanted to use you, Cameron.
Please.
So I would love to use you. So, I mean, I think we should first start with, like, really, when you close your eyes, I want you to center yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you my proprietary method.
Okay.
So I want you to think of the worst moment of your life.
Okay,
the absolute worst moment of your life.
Okay, it was probably when I killed that kid. But it was his fault, because his bike, like, it wasn't stable enough to like withstand my car kind of bumping into it just like a little bit. Okay, yeah, I got it. Good.
Now, that sounds like a pre-verbal prenatal problem. I really want you to go deeper and think about, did you ever grow up in a household where people weren't smiling all the time?
Ooh, actually, I grew up in a household, both my parents were smiling kind of constantly, to a sort of creepy and unnerving degree.
Yeah, see, that's
they would be breaking like very difficult news, such as like, hey, someone hit your cousin with a car and we don't know who it is, because they drove off. But the whole time they're kind of like smiling like this, and
this is what we're really getting at, because one problem is not smiling enough. The other problem is smiling too much, because they're repressing things. And it's a very, like I said, it's a very complex situation. So the thing is, that's impacted you on a cellular level, right? So we need to remove the source of this. So, like, the first thing you need to do is cut yourself off from your parents immediately.
Done. Easy.
Like, absolutely. And you need to make sure that, really, as you start to look for father figures, it's people that have frameworks, people that are helping you, people that really know how to look out for you.
I'm sorry. Your advice is for him to break contact with his parents and to search for a new father figure.
Correct. He needs to be guided so he can really start to sense what's good for him, because he grew up in a household that repressed so much.
Can I use Dr. London as my father figure, or is he too ingrained into the modern medical system?
You could use Dr. London, but if you search your feelings very deeply, how does that actually make you feel?
Let me think. It makes me feel
don't think.
Ooh.
No words, just emotions.
Okay. It makes me feel the same way I feel when I hear The Reason by Hoobastank. But I don't know what that is. That's the only comparison point I can think of.
That's a great thing, because I also don't know what The Reason by Hoobastank is.
Found a reason for me to change who I used to be.
Right? So when you hear a song telling you to change, does that really make you want to associate yourself with Dr. London? Or are you trying to find your true self?
Ooh. So you're saying I should look to myself as my own father figure?
No, let yourself tell you who the right father figure should be.
Oh. Well, I mean,
Okay, so it's not me, and it's not you, Cameron. So I guess it just has to be, Burt.
yes, yeah. I mean, Bert. Here. I mean, I
In,
just don't.
in
wanna
this
be
case, in this
invasive.
case, I'd like. It's okay. I prefer in this case, since we're working with my system, you call me Chocolate Daddy.
Okay. Okay. Chocolate Daddy. Chocolate Daddy. You're. Hi, Dad. What? How's Mom? Is this right? Am I doing it right? I don't understand.
Yeah. How do you feel? How do you feel speaking from your inner child?
I kind of feel the same way that I do when I hear, like, "Let's Get It Started" by the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you feel like
I was going to say the same thing.
You feel like you're constantly running and running and running and running and running?
Yes. And
Yes,
I'm like,
yes.
in the real version has an offensive slur in it, so then the radio version changes it to "Let's Get It Started."
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I think there you're starting to we've really identified the source of your inner struggle, right? So we can start to move to the second part of this, which is R2, which is regenerating the cell membrane. And that's the thing. If you don't focus on this stage very strongly, you'll never truly be able to detox. And so you really have to spend time here and figure out, if you look at the catalog, you'll see this is where the motorcycle comes in. This is where the supplements really start to help.
Oh. This is what. So what is the practical step? You're saying this is where I acquire all of your stuff.
Yes, this is it.
Wait, hold on. I think I know the step. It's your kid. You've got chores. It's the chore wheel time, right? With your new father figure.
Oh, interesting.
Does this work?
Is that Chocolate Daddy? Can we please do the chore wheel, sir?
Yeah, we can do the chore wheel, son.
You're asking to do chores to your dad. Maybe you don't get it. Okay. Because normally the dad would be the one telling you.
No,
think.
see, this is the thing.
Please let me do chores, Daddy.
You can 100% do all the chores you want in this household.
Yes, I only want to do one, and whatever one it lands on a big old... I mean, do you want me to just explain it, Dr. London?
Yeah, please go ahead and explain. Yeah.
So Dr. London and I have unfortunately been neglecting all of our chores, everything on our to-do list. I mean, we haven't cleaned the giraffe in months. We haven't gotten my feet.
Not the ears.
No, not the ears. We haven't gotten any of our feet unstuck from the mud puddle. And
no, but I think that's becoming a part of us.
Sure, but I mean, it's still on the board, Dr. London. So we invented this fun chore wheel that has all of our chores. Do the dishes, mow the lawn, everything. And once a week, we spin it, and whatever it lands on, we have to do that chore. And actually, Chocolate Daddy, I hate to... since you're my father figure, I hate to ask you to do something or tell you to do something, but could you please maybe give that big old wheel a spin?
Yes, I can. Are you ready?
So we'll just climb up the ladder there. You're just gonna get. This is an extra big one this week. So
yeah,
and you're gonna have to strap
whoa,
into
whoa,
it.
Whoa! There's a loose rung here, man.
That's part of the challenge. Yeah.
Yep.
Is that a chore to fix the ladder? That
it is.
Should be a chore.
Yeah, it's on there,
yes,
but unfortunately,
yes,
it has to land on it for us to do it. We're not going to just do chores for free.
Okay. I'm up here.
All right, give it a spin. Give it.
Okay, ready?
Dang it!
Oh no, not
this
one.
one.
Of course, it had to be this one.
You want to read what it is, Dr. London?
Yeah. Okay. Of course, it is come up with your own personal Ben and Jerry's flavor.
I can't believe we have to do this.
I knew this
So
would come
here's
up.
the thing: a lot of these chores involve us working for the mayor. The mayor is, I don't want to say a father figure, more like a kidnapper figure, kind of. He's sort of taken us hostage in a way that he forces us to do every task that he wants to do. So he's got it in his stupid little head that he's opening an ice cream parlor, the mayor's ice cream. And unfortunately, he can't think of any other flavors besides rum raisin. Even when I suggested, chocolate, speak of the devil, he said, "Huh? What?" Kind of like what Dr. London does when he hears that word.
The devil?
Yeah. Maybe I relate to this mayor more than I thought.
You guys are
honestly.
very similar, very similar. But the point is, he can't come up with his own flavors, so we have to come up with our own Ben and Jerry's style flavor of ice cream. Ben and Jerry's has all like the weird ones. It has like the Jimmy Fallon one that has like 10 different things, and then it has like the fish food one, and it has all this stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. Dr. London, do we want to start with yours? And this can be a collaborative thing. Like we can all sort of talk together and figure out each other's ice cream.
Yeah. So I guess, maybe it's just because it's the theme of the week, but the amoebic liver abscess, I kind of want to work that into the flavor.
So, do you want to do like maybe chicken liver?
Is it possible for us to get, because I've heard of chicken liver, but I haven't heard of, Entamoeba histolytica as a flavor. And that's the one that causes this disease. So is there a way can we rhyme something with Entamoeba histolytica or E. histolytica? We could do
histolytica.
Or Entamoeba. We could run it with that.
Entamoeba.
Costa Rica,
Entamoeba,
maybe?
grab and squeeze ya.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay, yeah, relating to our.
Have you guys considered Oreo? Oh yes.
Oh, that does rhyme.
Entamoeba. Oh yes, was it?
Entamoeba, any flavor, Oreo. Yes.
Oh, I missed the other part. Yes, Entamoeba, any flavor. Oh yes. That does sound better. Okay, we'll stick with that one then. Yeah, and everyone will learn medical lessons.
But what's in it exactly? Like, what are the ingredients?
What I'm hoping for is that the mayor will actually get the real taste of Entamoeba in there, because that's
gotcha.
I haven't heard of that.
You got to
anywhere.
have another like thing to it. Maybe like a brownie swirl on top of it. So it's like that the disease, but kind of mixed with a little brownie flavor.
We could produce one called C. diff Riff.
Oh, C. diff Riff. That's good. Okay. C. diff Riff. And that one I do think has to be a chocolate flavor.
I would say peanut. I would say peanut butter.
Peanut butter. I would say peanut butter and chocolate, given the appearance and the just all that comes with it.
I would actually put some anchovies in there, really, to nail the true brand.
That's good. And the flavor profile too, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right, and Cameron, I think you're the only one left.
So I've been thinking long and hard about this, and I'm thinking about maybe sort of like producer Cameron's pound cake, because it's got it's like PC. Now here's the thing, I don't really know what a pound cake is. This was just more of like, just kind of like finding letters.
And you appreciating
so
PC culture was a big thing for you.
And I love PC culture, and the gaming PCs. So
have you? So in terms of a pound cake, just to educate you, have you seen the American Pie movies?
Ooh, I've seen Stifler's Mom.
Yes.
So
It's like what they did with Stifler's Mom, but to a cake.
I've seen it, but so there was a drive-through next door, and I was hanging out, and so I've seen like aspects of it, like the previews.
Yeah, sure.
So, if that helps. So Cameron, if that helps with the pound cake as well, just so you understand the flavor.
So then let's just do producer Cameron's politically correct PC pound cake. And so there's PC parts in it. There's a bunch of ingredients that are not offensive.
Are there any koala parts in it?
Ooh, just like how Koala Cola has no koala parts in it, there will be no koala parts in this ice cream.
And that'll be the caption underneath.
Do you mean on the record or off the record?
Oh, we're all on the record here.
Oh, this is on the
Yeah.
record. I mean, we don't hide
wouldn't hide
anything from our
anything.
fans.
No.
We're just upfront.
Yeah. All right.
Pina colada, also.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like you're getting started with that one. Okay. So, all right.
Also, peanut butter cream.
Oh yeah, peanut butter cream as well.
All right. Well, so now we just have to, Burt, if you wouldn't mind going ahead and doing the honors since we finished this chore.
Maybe pickled cucumbers, which I believe is just a pickle, but
it
PC.
works, yeah. And it's good to mix all those different flavors together.
Producer
Also, what
Cameron's pound
What,
cake,
what about
pickled cucumber, PC, politically correct, peanut butter crumble.
Ooh, I like that. And then you should add on the pubococcygeus cake.
Pina colada, pubococcygeus, or whatever you just said. And
Yeah, that's
also
your PC muscle. It's a very important muscle. Because it tain't here and it tain't there.
and also Philip C. Moore Hoffman.
Good,
Ooh.
yeah. All right, well.
Also, Philip Seymour Butts.
Oh, also good. Also good.
Oh,
So,
unfortunately, Philip Seymour Butts he did pass away, but
Yeah. Man, you get real anal about that.
so we need to destroy this chore wheel because we rebuild it every week because of the different amounts of chores that gets added every week. So if you wouldn't mind, Bert, just so we have this kiddie pool here, if you could go ahead and drown it, and you want to kind of get a good stranglehold going to drown it real quick, just to, yeah, okay.
okay, just go ahead and drown the chore wheel there.
And try
You
not
just
to
push
enjoy
hold it
it.
down.
Don't enjoy it as much as you
Oh,
are. You're smiling too much.
Oh, sorry. I'll act like Cameron's parent.
Yeah, no, they smile too much. I think you're taking too many hints from them. Yeah, so you're really enjoying it, and wow, you are enjoying it so much. Okay, okay. Well, it's not moving. It's not moving anymore. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Bert, for coming on the show. Let's see. Is there anything you'd like to promote? Any of your stuff? Any friends of yours that you'd like to promote?
You can find me on the internet if you search hard enough.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Well, thank you once again to Bert. Thank you to our producer Cameron. Thank you to Digital in the House. Digital in the House. What was your name?
Chocolate Daddy, but you can call me Bert.
Burt is the nickname of Chocolate Daddy.
You can call me Bert. Chocolate Daddy. You can call me Bert.
Oh, Chocolate Daddy.
Chocolate Daddy, but you can call me Bert.
My name is Dr. London Smith. This has been the Jock Podcast.
See ya.